Government statement on free BBC TV licence as pensioners give an update. A major update has just been released that could affect millions of pensioners across the UK, especially those aged 75 and over. The government has made a new statement on the free BBC TV licence, and it's not just about who's eligible, it's about how the entire process is changing. If you or someone you love is over 75, this could mean saving over £150 a year. But there's a catch, and not everyone will qualify. Stay with me, because in this video, I'll break down exactly what's changed, who's still missing out, and what you need to do now to avoid paying for something you might get for free. Welcome to UK Pension Update, your trusted source for the latest news, changes, and expert insights on pensions, benefits, and retirement in the UK. If you're retired or planning for it, we've got you covered. Let's dive into today's important update. The central point is this: the government has reaffirmed that free TV licenses are still available to pensioners, but under more limited criteria than many had hoped. The key eligibility remains the same as under the current rules: you must be aged 75 or over and in receipt of pension credit. That is, you'll only get the free license if both those conditions are met. This was reconfirmed in the announcement. There is no return to universal free licenses for all over 75s, just for those on pension credit. The government statement is very clear on that. This means that many older people who previously thought they might get free licenses regardless of income will still be required to pay unless they are also receiving pension credit. What exactly is pension credit? It's a benefit paid to pensioners on low incomes to top up their state pension. It acts as a gateway. Being on pension credit qualifies you for various additional supports, including housing help, free TV license, if you are over 75, and more. The government is emphasizing that everyone eligible for pension credit should apply, because that's your pathway to the free license. The statement also sought to address one of the biggest complaints: how difficult or burdensome the application process has been. In previous years, even if someone was eligible, they might have had to provide paperwork or prove their status, which led to delays or confusion. The government says they want to simplify that process. They intend for verification of eligibility, being on pension credit, to be done more automatically or more smoothly, reducing bureaucracy. If all goes well, this should cut down on the hassle: fewer forms, fewer steps, less waiting. Alongside this, there was a reminder of the license fee amount and how rising costs continue to make free or discounted arrangements ever more important to many. The license fee itself was mentioned in the statement. It remains a significant annual cost for households without the concession. The government also reiterated that the cost of covering free licenses for all over 75s without means testing was judged financially unsustainable when it was first reformed. When the universal free license provision was withdrawn, the BBC was given responsibility to decide the future scheme, and under that, linking the free license to pension credit was deemed the fairest way to help those most in need while ensuring BBC services could continue without cuts. Pensioners groups have welcomed some aspects of the announcement, particularly the commitment to reduce red tape. Many had felt that even when you qualify for support, navigating the system was hard. So the promise of a streamlined process is being seen as meaningful. On the other hand, there is still frustration among those who believe all over 75s should be eligible, regardless of income. For them, the current scheme still feels unfair, especially in a climate of rising living costs, with many pensioners saying they're still struggling. Another aspect in the government statement was an update on how many people are not claiming what they qualify for. The data shows that there are large numbers of pensioners who are eligible for pension credit but are not receiving it and, by extension, missing out on free TV licenses. The government is urging people to check whether they are eligible for pension credit and making it easier to apply. They have also committed to awareness campaigns to ensure people know about their rights under the scheme. The statement further addressed possible future adjustments. While there was no announcement of returning to universal free licenses for all over 75s, the government said it will continue monitoring the impacts of the current scheme. If uptake is very low among those eligible, or if there is evidence that many people on the margin are being excluded, there may be proposals for adjustments. But nothing firm has been committed to yet. From a financial perspective, the government made clear the budget implications. covering free licenses for all over 75s without means testing would represent a very large annual cost, which was part of the reason the policy was changed in the first place. The statement reiterated that balancing support for vulnerable pensioners with sustainable funding for the BBC and public services remains the priority. It acknowledged the BBC's funding pressures including inflation, rising costs, and competition from other media but stressed that securing free licenses for universally all over 75s would impose too great a strain. In terms of timing, this announcement is effective now. Anyone aged 75 plus who already receives pension credit is expected to have their free license status maintained, and going forward when people apply for pension credit and meet the criteria, they should be able to claim the free license. The government indicated the simplified application or verification system will come into effect in the coming months. Pensioners will be informed when exactly the administrative changes are live. What does this mean in practice for pensioners? If you are 75 or older and receive pension credit, you should qualify for a free BBC TV license. If you are 75 plus but do not receive pension credit, you must apply for the license and pay the fee unless your situation changes. If you are under 75, you are not eligible for a free license under the current rules. Also, check whether you might qualify for pension credit. If you do, getting that benefit not only helps with the license but with other cost of living supports. Let's talk about what remains uncertain and what to watch for. First, the effectiveness of the new simplified process will be crucial. If it still involves bureaucracy or delay, many may be discouraged or may miss out. Pensioner organizations are going to scrutinize how automatic the verification is, how fast it works, and whether errors or delays continue. Second, there's the risk of people slipping through eligibility gaps, people whose income is just above the pension credit threshold, who nevertheless face real hardship. For those, there remains a sense of unfairness. Third, although the government has not committed to restoring universal free licenses, community pressure and political advocacy may push further reforms. Watchers should keep an eye on whether any future budget or parliamentary proposals try to widen eligibility. Finally, communication remains critical. Some pensioners may not know what's changed, what their rights are, or whether they are eligible. The government says it will run awareness campaigns. Those will need to reach people through trusted sources, charities, local councils, etc. In summary, the government statement delivers a mixed bag. There is relief for many pensioners who already qualify for pension credit and were worried about losing their free license. There is real improvement in simplifying the system. But for many others, those over 75 but not on pension credit, the status quo remains, no free license, and that cost burden is still there. Whether that gap will be addressed in future is not yet known. If you or someone you know might be eligible, here are a few steps you can take. Check your pension credit status. If you think you qualify, apply. Keep an eye out for communications from the BBC or the government about the simplified process. Don't assume you need to pay full license fees if you think you might be eligible, and if in doubt, reach out to local support services or charities that help older people with benefits. Thanks for watching UK Pension Update. If you found this helpful, give it a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a critical update that could affect your finances. Stay informed, stay prepared, and we'll see you in the next video.